What is going on, community? What is going on, people of Earth? I am TJ, aka Flash by Night, and today for Transformers Thursday, we're going to do something a little different. We're still going to be inside of Marvel's Transformers, but issue 33 veers off from our main story and picks up a story all the way from the UK. So we are going to go over parts 1 and 2 of Man of Iron. So issue number 33 starts off at Stansham Castle in the southern part of England. It's a tourist attraction now, but there's a lot of history in this place, and the future is about to invade. When we see the Seekers, Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker drop a couple of bombs on this castle, we find out that one bomb made a small explosive and the other one hasn't gone off yet. So authorities, military show up to assess the problem, and then they give a call to the curator. The curator's name is Roy Harker, and he's got to go to the museum to make sure nothing was damaged important, but also to help assess the damage overall. But before he goes, he has to stop and find his son, Sammy. Sammy can usually be found somewhere near the castle, playing in the woods. And today, he is out hunting the great bull moose, but what he catches is not exactly the great bull moose. It is Jazz. And so Sammy takes off running, because who wouldn't take off running with a giant robot in the woods? Anyway, that's one way to get him home and out of danger for now. But why is Jazz there? We don't get a ton of details. We just know he's there for surveillance, and apparently he knows about the castle and maybe about the bombing too. He's in communication with Optimus Prime, so we'll see what that leads to in the future. Meanwhile, while Roy is talking to a member of the military, he gets a call from his wife saying that he needs to come home right away. Apparently, there's something wrong with Sammy. And this is when we get the story of the Man of Iron. Back in the year 1017, there was a raid on the castle by Godwin the Strong-Arm and his forces. And they basically overwhelmed the castle and the neighboring villages. And then out of nowhere, you hear this thud as these footprints shake the ground. And we look up, and there is a giant robot who looks to be helping defend the castle. I don't know if he was working with them or if anybody was aware of his presence or whether he was just coming through. Either way, it looks like he didn't want to be bothered. He didn't want to be followed, and he let people know that. And we get this story as Roy was asking his son Sammy, had he ever seen what looks to be a picture of the Man of Iron? And Sammy says that they kind of looked like that. And that's when Roy tells him that the manuscript this picture comes from is 900 years old. Now, chapter 2 to Man of Iron, which is still in issue 33, starts that night with Sammy in his room, and I believe that's Mirage that's making his way through town up to Sammy's house and to Sammy's room. And this starts this funny sequence where either Sammy is dreaming or Mirage is making Sammy think that he's floating in the air, that things are happening. And that's when Sammy sees the picture of the Man of Iron again. And that picture floats out of the window, Mirage gets it, and then Mirage takes off, right in time for the parents to come to Sammy's room. And while the room looks like a tornado hit it, Sammy is sound asleep. That's why I'm not sure if Sammy was dreaming or whether Mirage caused all that chaos in Sammy's room one way or another. Either way, Roy looks out the window and he sees Mirage on his way out, and he's wondering what is going on in the last 2 days. The next day, while they are still assessing the damage, what they find out through scans is that there is a large mass underneath the castle, maybe the size of a ship. I'm assuming another Transformer, but we'll get there soon. And apparently the myth or the story of the Man of Iron doesn't shock the military member that Roy is working with, because he wants to make sure that people don't start talking and rumors don't start flying around about the possibility of him showing up again. But it's too late, because somebody, Sammy, already knows. And speaking of Sammy, we're going to wrap our story up with Jazz pulling back up to the house, now knowing who Sammy is, and he invites Sammy to come into the car so they can have a chat. And while Sammy is reluctant, Sammy's still a kid after all, so he gets in the car, and Jazz wants to ask him questions about what he knows and what his father knows. And when Sammy's mom comes out to tell him to get out of the car, of course, Jazz takes off. And that was issue number 33 of Transformers and parts 1 and 2 of Man of Iron. Let me know what you think. If you've read this before, let me know if I misinterpreted anything, if I missed anything, and what I should look forward to in issue number 34. I'm really intrigued to see what's under the castle and why the Seekers wanted to destroy it. But we'll cover that next week on Transformers Thursday. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. If you did enjoy yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, keeping up with the Transformers, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and of course, feel free to leave comments. And as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.